Welcome to TrainFever, a train simulator railway tycoon management type game that I quite enjoy. Well, I should really enjoy it. I've played it for 195 hours as of right now. That's a lot. There is technically a new version out, or an update, a new game, that's what I'm trying to say, called Transport Fever, and if you're looking for a game of this type, probably buy that. This is a bit old, doesn't have the same features. There's like planes and that in the new one, but this one just got trains, road, and what's the other thing they've got? Trams, that's the one. Trams, that's what they've got. I don't have the save file, I played this earlier, don't have the save file for this, so we're going to start off new. We're going to go with a large world, we're going to set it to Europe. Terrain, I'll go with medium because I don't think I've tried that before. Maybe I said that the same. Sorry about that, yeah, I've just had me dinner and all of that. Anyway, terrain type medium, don't think I've tried this before. Difficulty easy, that's fine. Start year 1950. I mean, we can type in Poopy McPoop face down there if we want to. I'm not interested in this. We're doing this, but we can go in here. Add on some no end here. I like that. That's very useful. Vehicles Europe terrain, that default. Can we go with English? Thank you. Trees European. Building scenario Europe. Thank you. Environment, everything's Europe. Everything's good then. And here we are in the game itself. We've done this before, so we'll just get stuck right in. This is the world. I can only have a very, very low frame rate. We won't spend too much time out here. But this is the world we have. Our map, everything here, all of these towns. Darlington, Deal. I mean, it's just so wonderful you can set it to English because you've just got all of these wonderful town names. Shoreham by Sea. Shoreham by Sea by name, not by actual physical location because you're in the middle of the countryside. Lyd, Ilkeston, St Ives. They cocked it off. Okay, so Cornwall is a part of Britain. England, to be precise. The south part of that. Yeah, it's a bit weird with that. Then we got Sunderland, which is in the northern part. We got Rye, Maidstone, which is nowhere near this kind of place. Peterborough, Swanleyworth, Harrow. That's part of London, innit? Crowthorne, Darlington, Armisen, Killingsworth, Deal. We've seen Deal. Whitnash, that sounds dirty. Westbury, Marlborough, Lyme, Regis, Wendover. That's the kind of town, so I love Wendover, that kind of sort of lovely names. Shoreham by Sea, favourite by far, and this is the map. Let's try and find out how they are in terms of size. I have completely forgotten how to play this, of course. Population, sort it here, find out where's the biggest one. That's Lyd. And then there's Lyme Regis. So where's Lyd's there? Do we have Lyme Regis anywhere nearby? We do not. What about Shoreham by Sea? That's down the St Ives, Cornwall. Oh no, St Ives, Cornwall, of course. Which is where? That's over there. That's a bit of a problem. We need to go via Ilkeston, which is also quite large actually. So yeah, maybe setting up a link here first of all between Lyd and Ilkeston, and then adding a link over to Shoreham by Sea. Or perhaps, depending on terrain, we'll put on the terrain layer the contour lines and see whether or not it'd be a smart idea. Because we need to be very careful here in the start of the game, certainly, because, you know, hills and that, the old trains weren't really that good for it. Anyway, I can talk to you about why I'm playing this and why I've been playing City Skylines and Train Simulator over this holiday period. It's because I found, shortly before Christmas, I found a YouTube channel called All the Stations, which is a couple of people. I'll try and do words properly. Basically, it's Christmas. I've eaten far too much food over the past few days, so words are very difficult for me to write about now. I've had far too much food, and yeah, it's just all good right about now. So we'll go ahead then, plop down the station. Oh god, that's absolutely rubbish. No, you'll be the best-ish over there, sort of. And then we're running a line down to either Lyd or to... I mean, we could take... Hang on, I've cocked it up. We're going to Lyd. I've started off at Ilkeston, but that's okay. We can work with this. We'll pop down a station at Lyd as well. Do we have a decent-ish stop location over here? This might have to do... Oh, that's very expensive, though. Yeah, it does vary, the cost of putting down a station depending on the terrain. So try and go for something that's already level, otherwise you end up with an outrageously expensive station, such as the one over here, for example. See this, we're now going quite high. I think if we pop it down like here, for example, again, see 300 and something dollars, that's a lot. We should call it pounds. That makes a lot more sense. So we'll run a train line. To be precise, was run it out of this one here. Oh yeah, I need to drag it. That's the thing. Over. Oh yeah, look at how expensive that is though. So we'll go ahead and we'll just bring this one down onto the surface, and then it'll hopefully see we've got to try and place this down here so it follows the terrain rather than trying to go the quickest automatically, which it does, and that is, well, it's very handy when you are building rail that are going to go fast, but right about now I don't really need to do that. I just need to make it really quick. Anyway, the reason why I'm playing this is I found that YouTube channel called All the Stations, which is a pair. Why do I say pair? I mean a couple called Jeff Marshall and Vicky Pipe. By the way, fantastic name for somebody who's into trains. Vicky Pipe, if you know London, you know the Tube network, and you know Victoria Station. I've taken trains out of Victoria Station actually. It's a train station in London, and that's about all I can say about it. It's lovely though. I mean, you know, if you like trains, it's a place where trains stop, and that's all wonderful. Anyway, they decided to go all over the UK. No, not the UK, Great Britain. You've got to get that right because it means very few things. But Great Britain, which is, you know, the big island, not Ireland, but the big one with England and Wales and Scotland. Go visit all the train stations over there just to have a little lovely time, and it is the most wonderful thing I've ever seen on YouTube. It's just exactly what YouTube was meant for. It's delightful, and it's basically taking the place of Die Hard for me over this Christmas, which is a very weird thing indeed. I usually love watching those, but this year just decided to watch them instead because they're lovely people and they enjoy what they do very much, and I really enjoy watching them enjoy their time, so that's really lovely and wholesome and everything. I'm getting near the end, which is very sad and very, very, very frustrating, but all good things must come to an end, right? Anyway, we need to try and do this properly now because I'm trying to set this up here. But do check them out because it's wonderful, and it's just giving me the train bug again, which is also nice. We'll go ahead, we need to put in a depot over here, so we'll go ahead, we'll try and see, can we get this to link up, or have we... I must have been far too optimistic, or have I, can we just, no... Please build in 2 steps. Got it. So we can actually... Oh, we can bring them over like this. This is actually okay. And then we extend you to there. And then we can bring you onto... Curvature is too big. Oh, curvature around there. We can bring it up a bit more. See, this is good. Right. No, it's not. It's still completely hopeless to cancel that. Apparently the curvature around that way is too big. So we'll go ahead and we'll delete that, and we'll delete that right here. We'll make it a bit more straight. Then there's nothing wrong with not being straight. It's okay. Just in this case, it's not the most optimal thing. We'll plop this down here. We'll go in here, pop down a depot, so our choo-choo trains can leave the station. No, they can't leave the station. They can go to the station. That's what we want. Words are difficult. It's Christmas. Hope you've had a lovely Christmas. We'll do another train line. We will start off here from Ilkeston and run it all the way over to, was it Lynn we called it? No, Lyd, sorry, Ilkeston and Lyd. So we'll call it one. I-L-L... I can see that ILLKSTON. I'll do a slash Lyd slash passer, because that's passenger rail. That way I know what it is. Oh no, do an R pass actually, because that's a lot easier. R pass. There we go. That makes more sense in the phrasing. So we'll set that off here. They'll do passenger shouting about once we assign a train to it. So we'll go in here. We'll buy a train. The Spanish Puetlibahn, which is the most wonderful name for a train ever in the world. We'll go ahead and we'll buy... How much money are we spending? We're spending quite a lot. So we'll buy... We can copy it, can't we? Yes, we can. This is why this game is absolutely brilliant. So we'll assign you to this line, and then when that gets to the other end, we'll assign another road onto it, onto the train. So if we close down all of this here, we can watch the chain as it choo-choos its way out. It literally chews! Listen to that! Woo whoop! It's wonderful and lovely. It's just so delightful. It's like playing with a little train set on Christmas, isn't it? It's wonderful. It's lovely. Who can dislike this? It's lovely, isn't it? It's what Christmas is about, loveliness. Let's plop down a station though over here. We'll do one over here so it's easier to turn around and it looks a bit better. We'll need to get passengers onto the rail line, and nobody's got cars at this time, and I don't think you're really meant to bring out a lot of horses in town. So we'll go ahead and we'll plop down some stations leading sort of... Which way do we want to go actually? all the people seem to live over here, but it is dangerous just purely based this off of where people live now, because that might change in a few years. Anyway, we'll pop down a station and pop down another stop. Actually, it's not a station, it's a stop. Plop it down here, they can turn around, they can walk back. We'll go ahead and pop down a depot as well for the vehicles. Where do we want that depot? We don't want it over there because we might need to expand the railway at some point. So let's try and... Okay, that's colliding. That's the spot. They'll love me very much. We'll get some stagecoaches. We'll buy 4 for now. Apparently pressing escape doesn't close anything. I played too much City Skylines recently. Anyway, we'll set up another... Hang on, no we won't. We're going to the route tab. Bring it over here and create a new line from Ilkeston Transfer over to Park Road onto Park Lane. That won't be confusing. Mill Lane, back to Park Lane, Park Road. It'll automatically loop back to Ilkeston. So we will call it... Oh, whoopsies. Let's try and go in here and call it 1 Ilkeston. I think that's correct. Ilke. No, it's Ilke Stone... we'll call it Coach. And it's the game that taught me how to spell coach. Because it's spelled like that, I think. Please tell me it is. It is spelled like that, because I was always confused about that. And this game taught me how to spell it, because I had to look at it for quite a long time. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we will set them off here, assign them there. How are you doing, Choo Choo Train? You are getting on the way. Lovely. We should go ahead and speed it up to ×2. Close you down, and then we will see these head out here. We'll try and turn it around as we go. So how are you doing, train? You're doing okay. You're doing 40. It's relatively flat. I've got a little passing lane going here. A single line operation. We don't really need anything more yet, I think. But that's a bold prediction to make. Let's have a look at cargo, because that's how cities grow, you know. Oh, this is very interesting. We might want to set up another rail line running from here. Technically, we could set it up running here, following this path over here to about here-ish, right, where this one gets hooked up. That might be the best thing for us to do it with freight. That's good. We can go over here, freight. We will need 1 track. Oh, God, this is actually suboptimal. In it over here, but we'll try and see, can we... I mean, it's very cheap. If we plop it down here, we will have to just do a bit of magic, but we can do magic, us. We are on YouTube. We'll plop it down here, relatively cheap stations. We will run a single freight line. Yeah, here we go. We'll try and connect it up to here, because I just love the way it looks. And this is what this game franchise gets so right, is when you create lines on this, it just ends up looking so pretty and wonderful, and I love it all very much. Whereas the construction in City Skylines just doesn't feel up to it, nor does the management side of it. It's sort of weird, City Skylines. I can't really put my finger on what it's meant to be, because it doesn't feel like a successor to Cities in Motion, which I loved a lot. The first one in particular. Wasn't such a big fan of the second one, I just didn't really get it myself, but it was, you know, fine and dandy. And then they did City Skylines, which seems to be a sort of a very weird and eclectic mix of a city builder, and that sort of isn't really that good at being a city builder, but it's the best city builder we have. It's not really a management game though, it's more the creative side of it, which is not necessarily what I'm most interested in. Like, I'd be perfectly happy if we got a much more polished version of this. That's my dream. Anyway, I will need to be smart here, because I'm not at the moment. We'll extend down here with a second line, bring it in there. This way we can go ahead and extend it over here. That way I'm future-proofing. Ooh, look at me. Far better at public management than most public managers. And we'll go ahead and take you to Ilkeston, and then we will create a new route. Right here from Ilkeston East to Lit branch. So we'll call it Ilkeston and Lit, and this time it'll be Wood. So we'll do Ilkeston / L-I, okay, that's an A-L-U lid, and we'll call it Wood. Wood R. Yeah, so Wooder over here for the Wood rail, and we'll close you down. We've got that line set up. We will need to purchase a train. Oh God, that train's coming back, but we stopped it just in time. He's pulling into station. How are we looking over here? We're picking up passengers. We've got passengers waiting en masse in Ilkeston. So we'll go ahead here with you, buy another Spanish pottery barn. Go to the open, no, is it closed? No, it's stake, that's what we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll need a few goods as well. Bumpity bumpity bump, over here 12, let's go ahead and assign that to the wood line. There you go, you can go ahead and choo-choo your way along. Now that way we will get cargo being transported to here, or they'll bring the wood down to this platform. Pop it onto the train, I'll take it over here, drop it off much quicker. We'll bring some cargo back with us and then everything will be lovely and happy and we'll all have a party. We also need a road depot over in Lyd. That is Lyd, I'm correct. Have faith in yourself, you are a good person. Let's put that, where do we want it? We can't put it there. And then every time you demolish your house, which really ends up costing a lot later on in the game, once the cities have established themselves and you're at a point where you need to expand your services, you sort of end up being in this exact position where everything costs a lot of money, because the cities have developed around your stations, which is absolutely brilliant. It's just nice having that difference and change about. Where is all of the cargo going in this town? It is going in this general vicinity, so we can plop it down at about here. Or sort of if we do it over... Can we not just... No, we can't get it over, but we can get it there. That way the road can still expand. And we will also need to build a road depot right over here. And then we need to create a route, which we do in here in the lines menu. Pop you in here from Lyd over to there. URB Lyd cargo. So Lyd cargo road connection established. We will go ahead and we'll buy some vehicles from the road depot, a horse wagon for goods. So buy about 4-ish. Select line onto Lyd cargo. There we go. We also need to buy some stagecoaches for the town of Lyd, because we need to do transport of people as well, and we are spending a lot of money, so we need to try and keep that in mind. But we need one of these end terminus stations over here if we can. Oh, you see, that's a problem here. We've got a house over there that's taking up space, as do we over here, so we may have to try and build a little bit of a roadway. A small street, for example. Can we build that up there? No, you don't want to, do you? We can build it onto there, so let's try and get in a bit closer. Pop it in there. That's fine. We'll then extend you onto there. That's just okay, just okay. We will create a couple of stops along the route. Well, where do people live? They live quite conveniently. We can extend it down the middle road. I reckon right there, right there. Right there, right there, and then we'll do another one about there. We also need to loop it back around, but we will do a lovely little turnabout here. So you'll stop there, you'll stop there, and just another one here to mirror that one. Create a line. You've already worked out what I'm about to do, haven't you? Started off here, onto there, and then onto here. Let's name it actually. We go from Lyd Hall to the Drive, School Lane, the Crescent, Manchester Road, Green Lane, Stanley Road, back to the Crescent, School Lane, the Drive, and back to Lyd Hall. And yes, indeed, this will be called Lyd. What do we call the first one? Lyd. Probably call it Coach. Yeah, Coach. That's what we're calling it. We will go ahead and we'll assign all of these to Lyd Coach. And they will head out here. They will hopefully bring passengers onto our rail line. I should really check in to see how that... Okay, we may not have enough room on our trains. A minor inconvenience that is going to perhaps be critical for us. So we have to try and sort that out pretty quickly. Now at the moment, our trains are actually maxing out fine on the speed. So we don't really have to be concerned about that at the moment. We also got problems with passengers, do we? No, you're fine. You're running 2 out of 5. That's okay. You're running 1 out of 5. That's fine. That's good. We want that few passengers at the final stop over here. Hopefully we'll pick up more. You are... Oh, God. You're 13 waiting, so we need more. No. We need to be careful here because this is snowballing. This is what they think will happen to the economy, but it really won't. The problem is, if I upgrade the train line, to run more passengers, then the train station or the bus stations will get more passengers. Similarly, if I add more buses to the bus lines, they'll bring more passengers to the train, which means I need to further upgrade the train, and at the moment where I don't really have enough capacity on my train, I really shouldn't do that, which is weird, but I think that's how you do things. You're saying no path. What are you moaning about, you whiny neck? You have a path from here. Why can't you get over to that station? Let's zoom out. I mean, you can. Let me just try and make sure here that everything is okay with this line. So you're going from here to... How can you not have a path over to here? Can you explain that to me? Because I can't see it. Have I missed something along here? I have. I've spotted the problem right over here. We'll go in and create a line. Grab you. And boom. There we go. So you should have noticed that a lot early on, because that train's just been sitting there and burning money. And meanwhile, we haven't actually earned any money because they've all been taking it by the bloody roadway. Anyway, you're pulling into station. If I'm very sharpish, I can go ahead and order you back to the depot really quickly here as you unload. And I believe you do that sort of like a split second. Let's wait and see here. Coming to a halt. Ching. Yep. Back to depot, please. I need to swap you out. I don't need to swap you out. I need to add more wagons to your train, which is actually quite logical. Buy a couple more state coaches then. Get you running on Ilkstone coach, if you will. Thank you kindly. Goes you down, get you in here, and it just ends up taking a lot of time because you end up spending hours upon hours playing this, which is absolutely fabulous. So this train is pulling into the depot. We'll prepare ourselves here to some more Spanish poitly bun wagons. Bye. See, over here we now got 48 people on it. Set line to Ilkstone. Lit passenger over here, so that's 48 people. I'm hoping that I haven't overbooked it. But we'll find out in a moment. Where are all of you going? You'll hopefully go to that station. Thank you. You're coming out here. No, you're looking fine on speed. So we'll need to do exactly the same trick with you, who's also running pretty highly capacitized. We've actually doubled our capacity, which is very lovely indeed. That's very good. It's very popular. The people of Lit really want to go to Ilkstone. And I can understand that. I've spelled it wrong. I've just noticed. It's Ilkstone, but we need to click this edit button, and then we need to... We can't move it back, so we just have to delete Ilkstone, then slash. Oh no, we don't need to split. Lid. Oh, pass. That's fine. I forgot to capitalise the P in pass. Okay, that's everything capitalised. Let's just be careful here. Close you down. You need to be ready. And we are ready now. Oh, there goes the choo-choo train. Choo-choo. Oh, hang on. No, that's a cargo. Oh, cargo's running fine. Oh, yeah, because the passenger's right there. Lovely. Yeah, roads can't cross over the rail line, so they won't develop anything on this side unless they spew off over here, for example, which they could do. But that does cause problem later on when you need to expand your lines. I do keep that in mind early on. We have down here, you've got cargo coming in here, train pulling back into here. You've got no guts on you at the moment, but hopefully that'll come as soon as that begins to work a bit. Yes, we can now get stuff waiting over there. And you are desperate to go. I think the operator needs a wee, because he's desperately trying to go. Speed-wise, you're on 40 still, so that's okay. That's a maximum speed that train can do. Fantastic, that's what I want to see. Go on then, and you rate up your signalling. That's lovely. Train 2's ready to go. We should probably name the trains. I mean, I suppose you could be called Train Face, which obviously is what they should be called. I mean, that's what every train should be called, which is, you know, correct of me to do so. But yeah, city skylines don't really do this whole line doing thing properly. It ends up looking really awful in weird ways, and this, it just ends up looking like a proper train line. It's wonderful. It really is lovely and wonderful, and I love it very much. So you have how many waiting up here? 61, that is a lot. Hopefully we will... Oh god, I've deselected my train. That's a cargo train. No, you're not even in the station yet. We can go ahead and click the speedy uppy button a bit, which you really do want to do here in the beginning, because you have very few lines running. It's 1852, so we'll go ahead and... It's 52, so we'll get ready here again. Go to depot as soon as that one gets quite low in passenger numbers. Oh, we even got happy music. It's the new game show. What train are we building? Yeah, we now got 69 people waiting at Ilkeston. That is a massive problem, but that train's coming in here. Hang on, no, I've got it wrong. It's Ilkeston, not Ilkstone. That's okay then. We'll fix that later on. We'll go ahead and slam on a couple more cars and assign you to Ilkeston. Passenger, go, 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 go. Choo, choo, choo. Choo the train. Choo, choo, choo all the trains. Everything over here. Do you have cargo on you? You've got 4 out of 12. Fantastic development right here. Close you off. We've got, oh god, look at all those passengers. It looks like we're doing a fairly decent job with the number of passengers up there, so we'll give that a couple of turns just to sort itself out. The increase in capacity may have helped us out. I mean, while the coaches in here looks okay, but we're not 100% sure. We'll wait and see. You have 11 waiting, and how you can take 24, so that really is okay, and you are quite heavy then if you can't go any faster than you are doing now. But it does make sense that cargo is heavier than passengers, because you know it is. Anyway, we have over here, what do we have? Plenty of people waiting in town, plenty of people waiting just all round, so we'll buy a few more state coaches in here. Assign them to the coach line in Lid. We also need to try now and look at maybe expanding, but we need to be careful about the money. Shoreham by Sea, by name, he's got cargo. He's got cargo, that's not right. Anyway, that's just a bit unfortunate. We could probably run a rail line. Oh no, we can't because there's a hill in the way. But we could technically run a rail line that way round. That might actually be beneficial for them later on. Keep that in mind then. Oh, look at that over here. Yeah, there is a lot of cargo going on between Rye and St. Ives, Cornwall. Over here we got, do we have, oh, we got copper coming from over here. And we've got coal, not coal, that's nothing, but coal coming from St. Ives, Cornwall. And they're going to this processing facility. We can then run something between them if we want to, but money is a bit tight at the moment, so we will speed it up here ×3. Let's watch those passenger numbers and cargo indeed as well. So you're probably full up on 48 passengers. Yes, you are, but we've got another train waiting right here. So choo-choo-choo-choo, Machu Picchu trains are running. Go on, go on, go on. Okay, yeah, they do lose passengers along the way, just by the way. That's the thing that happens. Don't be concerned about that in the slightest. What else do we have? We got trains, we've got buses. They're actually running fairly decently here, but that might change as soon as the next few trains pull into station. Like this one here is now trying to build up speed once more. They've got all the passenger support, which is nice. Nobody's died along the way. I jumped out of the back because it took too long to get to their location. Meanwhile, you are pulling in here. How many have you lost? You've lost 1 more. That's okay. That's just 1 additional passenger who's jumped off. Hopefully you jumped out of the back, not out of the side, because you might jump in front of another train. It might hurt more if you jumped out to the side. So you've loaded with 45. That's brilliant. You're pulling in there, so it's all looking good at the moment. How many passengers are waiting? Oh yeah, we look to be okay. Technically, both have left, and you couldn't get everyone on board, but maybe these capacities now at 48 is correct. You are building up here, but you're still taking stuff by road into town, which is probably a good indication that we need to buy more of these good wagons here. Buy another 2, assign them to lit cargo, might be beneficial. Ooh, we may also want to buy some setup over by the cargo line. So you're coming in here, you're waiting because it takes too long. How much cargo's on that train? You've lost a couple of passengers. You've also lost a couple of passengers, but it's okay. It is okay indeed. You are pulling back here now. So you've got 16 out of 24. And you have how much waiting? 5, 6, you've got quite a fair bit. So you are running on the limit out here. So when you've got production facilities here that are on their limit, they will upgrade after a while of being on that limit. So here it says it'll be upgraded in 3 months. That just means it'll produce more, it'll grow a bit and it'll produce more, which you need to keep in mind because at some point it'll run out. We even have another sort of lumber mill over on this mountain here, which is producing 1 piece of lumber. I don't actually know if this one can keep up. Oh yeah, this one can keep up just fine. This one's also running close to its limit. That is that one there. So we will see here how this goes. These facilities will grow as the cities grow too. And as I said, we may want to set up a little freight connection over to the town as well, just to get it going a bit quicker, but we'll give it a wee moment. Meanwhile, we might actually go and run a rail connection up to St. Ives, Cornwall, although that doesn't seem to be any ideal positioning. Maybe over here. There's too hilly around there, it's not really worth bothering with at all. Oh, look at all of that wood coming in here. You're pulling in here now, are you running on your limit? Let's see here. Oh, you are actually running on your limit. So we need to definitely keep that in mind. Because you are, 44, no, 24. And you're pulling in here. How many have you got? You've got 36. It's okay, we've got capacity to grow. That's entirely okay. We don't want to run maxed out. We want to have a bit of a buffer zone here. So you get to 31 out of 48. Does that mean that the... Yeah, it also looks like the buses, or coaches can keep up. Over here, though, that is not the case. We have a lot of people waiting, so it's time to buy coaches. These are quite early on. We're still in the 1800s. So we'll buy a few more here, pop it onto the coach line at Lid, and they'll all be happy, and people will go and catch the train. We've got capacity to spare on the trains, so we might as well run more buses or coaches. It's drawn by horses. We are quite early on. It's the 19th century, god damn it. Anyway, over here, how are you looking in terms of cargo? You've just got a wagon buffer now. That's a bit disconcerting. And we've got a lot of passengers waiting. We've got 43. So remember what I said about that buffer. It's not looking great at the moment. And the trains are very slow. Hopefully at some point we will get some bigger ones. And we're seeing upgrades over here. We've got the town is growing on the other side of the rail line, which we do need to keep in mind. Okay, over here. Money, we've got plenty of dosh, mate. So let's look into expanding over to St. Ives, Cornwall, by building a station. And we want to build a 2-platform station. How expensive are you? Oh, you're going to be like ridiculous, aren't you? Yeah, you're going to be like nearly $1 million. I'm not paying that much for a bloody station, mate. Can we pop one in here, for example? What about over here then? That's slightly more affordable, but still not brilliant, if I'm honest. Do we have any sort of common listing over here? I mean, I suppose we can if we find a level place. We can get it down a bit more, but what about here, for example? See, this is the problem with building here, is we've got a bloody great big road in the way. Over here as well, and over here. I mean, it's just not going to work, is it? Because we need to build around the bloody city. Like, that'll be very cheap, but I can barely get anything in here without knocking down houses, and it's a bit early to start on that. So it might actually be better for me to build it somewhere. What about here? How was this costed? That's actually quite reasonable if we build it like so. Still a bit expensive, but it'll do. Oh my god, what was that? That was a freight. Oh, cock. Do I get that? I get 18,000 back. Yeah, that's fair enough. That was me making a mistake. We need to build a passenger rail line, so let's go ahead and plop that down. That's a lot cheaper now because we leveled that ground. Then we will go ahead and run a rail line, preferably around the city for now, because that's a problem. Set the speed at 100 kilometers an hour. And then we need to be careful here because we're going to start climbing at some point. Thank you. It just had a bit of a... oh yeah, see, this is a big old problem here. Look how expensive this is. It's going to look pretty though. Maybe we want to try and get it to a decent route number, 70 for example. And then we run it over here. This is going to be difficult. We really need to... I'm running it right into the side of a cocking mountain. So let's not do that. That was a stupid idea I had. I've just demolished something I didn't mean to demolish. So let's try and get it around here again. At like 110. Yeah, 110, that's a decent speed. So we now want to try and keep it running. Yeah, look how expensive this is because we've got hills in the way. But it's going to look really pretty when the train pulls over that hill in it. So there we go. Look at this. How cool is this? It's lovely. It's trains in it. Trains to over about through this forest. We also need to keep in mind that we need to cross over the road at some point. We do that over here. Can we? We can actually build. Oh my god, I'm having a crisis. Yes. We need to do a bridge. Do we want it? We want it to be a traditional English bridge of stone. There we go, I thought that was that. So we'll go ahead and pop you over there, and then we shall go ahead then and grab you, and then bring you back onto the ground at 85 kilometers an hour. You may wonder, why am I using kilometers an hour when I am playing on a UK map? Well, that is because I have common sense to use the metric system, which the English do not, which isn't my fault. And that's that station build, that's that rail line. However, we do need a passing lane, and the ideal passing lane is of course where the bridge is. So that's not where the ideal passing lane is, it might actually be here. So we need to build you right over into a side road, 60, that's alright, and then bring you down here for a fair bit. Up here to like about the foresty area, to about here for example. It's quite a long passing lane, but it is worth it. We'll go ahead and bring you back in here at about 75. And then we need to put down a... Ooh, we need to do that right. That can confuse you in the beginning, it did with me, but pop you down here, and we'll go ahead and we'll create another line. Grab you a new line from you, Ilkeston, to St. Ives, Cornwall. We will call this one then Ilkeston / St. Ives, Cornwall. We can't even do anything else, so we'll go ahead and we'll have to go ahead and get rid of something, but we can't move that thing. So St. Ives, Corn. So we'll do a dash here, RP. There we go. We'll go ahead and close you down. We'll need to create a train running over there, and that will be from our old depot. See, this is where we did that thing that I did. You will go ahead, here will be the Spanish Quadlibahn. Natürlich. By you here, we need to be careful. 30, I would say. Then we need to duplicate it times 2. Set that one at, actually set one at a time to St. Ives, Cornwall. Cornwall, sorry, I get that confused. We have any passengers waiting? We don't anymore. We've got 70. What's going on? That's a really popular line. We may have to buy more trains to run on that, and we need to upgrade the rail line then. Oh dear, we've got loads of people waiting in town who's not getting picked up. It's all heating up in lit. So buy a couple more buses or coaches, as on that to lit coach. Close everything down, and I need to sort out that pinging noise we had a moment ago. So in short, there really is a lot to do already, and this just ends up taking a lot of my time, so I think I'll wrap it up here for now. We have been going for this for like 40 minutes now, so hope you've enjoyed this TrainFever video. I mean, see here, you're just maxed out already with your cargo. Oh god, it's all going wrong right about now. Get you back to depot, back to depot. We'll buy more stuff for you. Let's do that. As a final point here in this video, we will buy more for you. You got 51 people waiting, that is a lot. I've got another train here that we can assign to the new line, Ilkeston. Off you go, that'll increase the frequency. You'll put back in here, we'll just upgrade everything on you right about now. So prep here, buy trains, get the state car ready. Oh, we may want to even remove from the train. And this is so beautiful that you can just pop it down here onto a new train set if you don't need it at the moment. Then you buy this on here, we'll buy on more. See, that came onto the wrong one, but we can just move it up here. That's why you like a proper locomotive setup. So there we go, you now got, how many you got? You need more, mate. You need a lot more. Like about here. Like 64 for example, I think that's at the very least. Then our close compartment, which is the goods wagon. By a few more of you, just over here, 428. So let's try and see here how you're feeling about pulling all of that weight. Can you do it? Oh, you can. You're a lovely little train. Lovely little train. Oh, we got a fountain. We got a fountain. It's leisure. It's just called leisure. A fountain is just leisure. We've got plenty of fountains. The people of 1856 love a fountain. We know that much. Look at the long train I've made. Look at this. Look at the massive train. Who's not excited about a long train? That's not even a euphemism, that's legitimately a big train. Go on then. Pull in here, it'll be a bit more cargo now this turn round, but it'll even itself out. Look at it getting loaded, pulling away. I can do train noises, me. Pulling out of the station, it's lovely. I even went a bit Welsh than my delight. Look at, oh, whoops, okay, that was a bit far out. What about here, passengers? We've got 70 people waiting to go to Lyd. Right, that is calling for another train to be built over in this facility. Buy train Spanish Barn. And then we will need to buy... I've done it again. I've said I would stop for about a couple of minutes ago and I haven't. So anyway, this has been TrainFever. There may be more of these in the future. Goodbye for now.